Alright, in theory, things should be working now. Just gotta pull up the chat. As per usual, I wanted to go live an hour ago, I think. There we go. Got chat pulled up. Good to go.
Then let his destiny unfold.
But, as is oftentimes the case, the second I actually want to go live, fires start happening. Again, you know, I've run into issues with my capture card before, but this time it was my capture card, my microphone, one of my screens right now, for whatever reason, my second monitor. I didn't even bother to troubleshoot it. It's still flickering off to the side, and I'm just like, you know what? The game is being captured. The game is running. The audio seems to be good. I don't know how well balanced it is yet, so hopefully someone will come in and let me know that I'm terrible at audio balancing again. But it's functional. I have to deal with that second monitor later, though. I remember when this game came out in like 2008. I was super hyped. I picked it up. Part of the reason I was so excited for this game is I was taking courses in game development, and the making of this game in particular came out as footage we got to see. And we got to see, you know, the people who were like sleeping in the office, still working on the thing. It was really cool to see that while we were ourselves learning the absolute basics. And this opening video I remember being beautiful to watch the first time, and then
what was that?
You get this.
Oh, yuck. Well, I hear that's lucky. Like finding a four-leaf clover. Although I think I prefer the clover. Oh, look, little sparrow.
That's us. We're the sparrow. Little sparrow.
Castle Fairfax looks so nice in the snow.
God, I haven't played this game in a long time. I
Lord
played the
Lucian's
third
having
one
roast
on the
up this
channel
time of
once.
year.
I don't even know
He
how
must
many
be
years
really
ago.
lonely since his wife
But
and
it
his
had
little
to
girl
have been
died.
quite a while.
In that big castle, all by himself. If only we could live there.
Oh, there's a ruckus going on.
What is going on over there? Come with me, little brother.
Follow the glowing trail. Can do.
Hello there, young Rose. You look hungry. Have you reconsidered my offer?
We'll never be that hungry. The answer is no.
I'm worried about
You'll be
what
back,
offer.
and I'll be waiting for you.
Come on, little sparrow. Let's see what's going on.
All right. Oh, wait, hold up. Gotta do that. No. There we go. Kick the chicken. It's a terrible thing to open up with when I also have
it's
to
just
say
a
that
trader.
we are getting chickens.
I can't see anything past this lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have traveled the land, accumulating wondrous and mysterious objects, which I now offer to you for the modest price of 5 gold. Consider this. This is truly a magical mirror. For as long as you look into it, it will make you beautiful.
I'll take it.
Ernie.
Very wise. Now, just remember, the magic only works if you look at it in complete darkness.
Ah, so there's a catch.
Now this is truly a marvel. This small, unassuming box is actually a device
Richard,
created
I didn't know
by
you
the
used to play
ancients,
Fable as well.
as used by the old kingdom rulers themselves.
And yes, I am doing fairly well. Thank you for
Turn the
asking.
handle 3
How about
times
yourself?
and you
How's
shall be
the
granted
new
a
puppo
single
doing?
wish.
There's no such thing as magic.
I'm going to buy something that works.
We live
Fun
in grim
fact,
times
I'm not
indeed.
sure how
If
familiar
the young
you
are
are
too
with
world
the
weary
Fable
to believe in
franchise.
magic,
Teresa
Most
here,
children your age
as I
believe
understand
legally.
it at least,
Look,
is actually
I can
your
see your eyes are
sister
bad,
in
but I'm telling you,
the
that
first
music
Fable
box
game.
is rubbish.
That's what the seller
And
thinks.
given the
he has no idea what
hero
he stumbled upon. But you have an inkling,
lineage,
don't you?
that would also make
Some
her
part of you wants to
essentially
believe
our
it's magic.
aunt or
What?
great aunt, something like that. However
You
it
really
works.
think it could be?
There's a good couple of years
For 5
separation
gold
here.
coins, you could have your answer.
God, I have
Listen to me,
been there.
Rose. At the end of that week, you and your little
When you
sparrow
look at
would
a
be
$20
no closer to
bill
your
and you're
dream,
just like,
no
yo,
closer
but
to the inside of that beautiful
like if I
castle.
stretch it, that feeds
What
me
if
for
it
a
is
week.
real? I bet we could get
And then
5
when
gold
things are
pieces.
better
And
off and
maybe
you're a
this
little
could be
bit
a
more
way out of
comfortable
here
and you look at
after
that
all.
same $20 bill and you're just
What
like,
is there to lose,
yeah,
little
but that's
sparrow?
also like 3 packs of Pokemon cards.
Come
and
on, there must be someone
I-
around here
I
who'll
just
pay us
want it.
gold to do something.
It really, being in a position where you drop to the low end
Right,
of the
kid,
social norm
come
and
here a
climb
minute.
out yourself, it really gives you a,
Hello, Derek.
there we go.
Lose something?
It really gives you perspective of
My arrest warrant
just
flew
how
right out of my hands. They could be in
easy
all
it is
corners
to
of
waste
Bowerstone by now,
money
and I can't
when
leave
you're
my
in that
post.
position. I was trying to think
Hey,
of how to word that.
why don't you find
Welcome,
them for
Dem.
me?
Welcome to the stream. How are
You could
things
be like,
going for you?
little constables. Sounds
Hopefully the
fun,
audio is
right?
good for you guys. If you need me to
How much do
rebalance
little
it, let me
constables
know.
get paid?
Paid? Listen, kids. These are the 5 most wanted criminals in Bowerstone.
Yeah? Well, how badly do you want them?
Fine. 1 gold for all 5 warrants.
And I will accept that. Those
Deal.
terms are agreeable. The big thing about this game is, unfortunately, the audio is going to constantly rebalance
So,
itself
look out for those warrants. But for now, let's find some
based
more
on
money.
where I am, what I'm doing, and what's going on. Certain things will be louder, certain things will be quieter. It's an old game, and it shows its age.
No words.
Oh, Monty.
The audio sounds good. Thank you for that, Richard. Also, Dem, some of the accents, so to speak, might sound a little bit familiar. I believe is it Lion's Head or Lion's Gate? Studios that
You
made
should
this
whisper,
game
so
unfortunately no
Mother
longer
doesn't
exist.
hear.
However, they are stationed somewhere over in the European
What?
region,
I didn't hear you.
or were. I think they, like I said, I think they went under, and their properties got bought out.
You say something, Belinda?
Oh, no, it was just the town crier, Mother.
Okay, is this
Sorry,
really?
my love. You'll have to be quieter than that. Can you find a happy medium?
This town would be so much nicer without people like Arthur
So right
around.
now I've got to trigger enough
Oh,
quest
Monty.
lines
I'd
for me
give
to
anything
get
be
some
able
money.
To speak freely with you at normal
And
volume.
this entire game hinges on a morality system. So you can do things that are good
I
or
tell you
evil,
how I ache for
and you will get certain benefits and rewards based
No,
on which
I
path
said
you go down.
ache for you.
Not only that,
Oh.
people will treat you differently.
Anything you like.
Your costs at shops will vary based on how much people respect or fear
Oh,
you.
Monty.
You can
know
even
just what to
own
say to
property
get a
in this
girl's heart
game.
racing.
I think you can own almost everything.
Say it more loudly,
There's a
or
lot
the
to it that
drawing
really
closer
really plays out
proximity.
on that.
But for now,
And
we must
eventually,
torture ourselves
as
with
you
furtive
become more
whispers.
and more in line with your heroic lineage, your powers start to awaken. Where you are on the morality scale actually starts to have physical showings on your
Oh,
character. Your character
Monty,
will actually
that's
start
really
to
kinda
change
disgusting.
visually. Also, your diet and exercise routine in this game matters. If you eat a lot of cake in order to heal your character, you will start to put a belly
Oh,
on.
Monty, is that true?
Yes. I have so much I want to say to you.
I want this one to be done fast,
Poetry
but
of
this
love
one,
that makes my
unfortunately,
chest
you have to
bleed
sit here and
burst.
listen to all of their lovey-dovey
And none of it
BS.
involves sores at
And
all.
as I
I'm
recall,
really
if
sorry,
I
don't know
walk
where that
away,
came from.
they're going to make me sit through all of this again. I think what I'm waiting on is Monty. He has to walk off wherever.
I love you more than words can tell.
Isn't that what I'm waiting on?
Worms, Monty.
No words.
Oh, Monty.
All right,
Oh, yes.
I'm not sure if
Maybe
I'm
we should
really...
go to Bower Lake when
Belinda.
the weather's better. There's a nice camp out there. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be waiting on this one or not. I seem to recall if I come back,
The warrants are
whatever.
around.
We're going to do the other ones. I literally can't sit there waiting for that.
Did you see that magic sewing kit, Mo?
All right.
Now, all you have to do is strike a pose for my little device. You'll be
got some
positively
comments to read
befuddled
here.
by the results.
Never played Fable, but seems
Be
like a
what?
good game. It's,
yes, I've
it's
been
definitely
improving
one
my
that shows its age
vocabularium
now.
with a
I actually
wonderful
genuinely
book
think for
bought
the
from
story,
Virgo the
the
Trader.
pacing, on a lot of...
Thesaurus.
He's a
Oh,
bit
wait.
silly, isn't he? But this could be fun.
This is going to be a lot about, holding something and then timing it out. Let's take the hero pose.
My feet are killing me, but it's worth it just to see how that so-called
Do I-
magic picture maker...
Do I hold it longer? I mean, okay, sure, whatever.
Wondrous.
Anyways,
This thing's going to be more popular
yeah,
than that
the
pot.
first game has a lot of merit for why a lot of people love it, but
Now,
in my
I just
opinion,
have to
it
wait
has
3
aged
months
a
for the
little
picture
too
to
much,
develop,
and unless you
and I can
are
start
coming
showing
into
it
the Fable
around.
franchise
Oh,
with
I
that
can
love
almost
already,
smell the
it
gold.
really does show itself. Fable 2 is exactly the same way, but I think just by the merit of being a little bit newer, it
Easy money for us.
rounds out
He's a
just
bit
a little
sketty.
bit.
Hope he's all right.
Fable 3, in my opinion, runs fairly well. It plays with a decent degree of functionality, but it does have certain shortcomings. Alright, now I want to catch up on the comments that I have been completely ignoring because I've been trying to refigure out and reorient myself within this game. Alright, so I asked about the dog. She's trying to play with the other animals. She plays kind of rough, though, so all of them... it's the same thing with my puppy Rhea right now. We have Rhea, and we have 2 Italian Greyhounds that are getting very old, and she wants to play with them like they are young puppies, much like herself, and unfortunately, they do not have the energy for that anymore.
This must be the alley the Warrens blew down.
And, hold on, we got to jump right into this.
a treat for
The second this punk starts messing with the dog.
What the hell are you doing?
No, I ain't holding up. Let me start.
you?
Let me throw hands.
He hit a girl. Yeah.
You're messing with the dog. You mess with my sister. Start beating ass.
Go on! Harder! Ah! Stop it!
There we go. Okay, now that I've corrected that issue, again, social norms have to jump into that as soon as it came
That
up.
lunatic socked me right in the head.
I've actually played 2 and 3. The quest with the fire breathing,
Thanks for your help.
the
I couldn't
fire
take
breathing
you
shadow chickens. I believe that is the one where you go into someone's essentially Dungeons and Dragons board. That's one of my favorite quest lines
Oh,
in
poor thing.
probably the
You've
whole
had a horrible
franchise.
time.
But it's just
Don't be
because it
scared.
plays off of
It won't hurt you.
the humor quite well.
What you need is someone nice to look after you.
I remember thinking the way the bad guy loses in
Oh,
the
we
end was
can't
not a
keep
good
you.
boss fight.
We don't have enough food
Still
for
not good,
ourselves.
but from a storytelling looking at it, it was
Well,
pretty good
I'm
ending
sorry,
in my
but
opinion.
we can't.
I assume you mean
Now you just
Fable 2.
rest.
Fable 2, in my opinion, I think people look at the end boss fight
Come on, little sparrow. Let's go.
as not being the way it was originally intended to be. When you look at the end boss fight, your entire build up to getting to that point was the boss fight. The intent behind how they delivered the boss fight in Fable 2 is that final moment was supposed to be satisfactory on the idea of the end villain really is so weak. He really is so pathetic.
That's one there.
But he had such power in other means that was getting there was supposed to be the challenge.
Sort of, yes. You kids aren't afraid of...
Good week. People are finally coming back after Easter. The girls had an...
That would be silly.
This girl
Yes,
had an obsessive
silly.
crush on me, so hopefully
no
she
one's
says
afraid
something
of
tomorrow
loathsome, evil,
whilst
conniving
drunk so that I can...
beetles.
Oh!
Well,
Dem
since
is
you're not
looking to
afraid,
play the game
how would you
harshly.
like to ruthlessly exterminate a few that are in my
I
warehouse?
don't fully
You'll do
remember
it for a gold piece.
if you had mentioned anything
Done.
about these girls in
Ooh, I
particular,
hope you can make 'em
but if
suffer.
you're looking forward to
Those
do
idiots
the
really never
drop
can
on,
suffer.
there's gotta be a fun story there, I'm sure. Remember thinking the
Are
way
you
the
sure
okay, that's the
you're
bad
not
guy.
afraid?
If he really does have an obsessive, yeah, again, if it's obsessive, and I mean like obsessive,
Your killers.
I get that.
Shoot the beetles. Shoot
First
to
time I
kill.
played Fable 3, I chose all the options the town
while
wanted,
you're
and then there
breaking
were
their
only 2
hateful
people
little
left
heads
alive
open,
other than me.
Try not to break any of my stuff.
Oh! Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about on Fable 3. With Fable 3, when you choose all the options the town wants,
Hey,
you
kid.
actually don't have...
Balthazar owes some protection money to Nicky the Nickname. So how about you leave the Beatles and smash his stock up instead? I'll give you a gold on Mr. the Nickname's behalf.
Or I can go destroy the Beatles and break the boxes. Oh, there we go. I really think, given the way that it plays out, that should be a way for you to cash in twice over, but they don't let you. And frankly, by the time you get out of this point,
Do you know what
5 gold is kind of pointless.
Beatles? I'll remember this, kid.
But yeah, when you take all the options that the townsfolk want, the idea is that they are happy
That
in the
was
build-up,
a
in the
massacre.
moment,
No mercy
but they
for
are
the
left
filthy buggers. That's what I like to see.
unprepared and unable
And
to
all my
prepare
stock is still
for
intact.
the invasion that
Genius.
happens at the end of 3.
Now
Which
I
is why
think
it's such a
about it,
huge
I
deal that
wonder how
you,
those
as the
Beatles
hero,
got
to
in
supplement,
there.
you have to put your own coin into the end game
Wow.
pot.
I didn't know
And
he
if
was so good at
you
fighting.
do not make that threshold line,
And we've
you're
got another
unprepared.
gold
You're
coin. We're
unable
really doing
to
it.
deal with the issue. And so that's the morality thing they tried to push on you there is you can do things that you think are right, but there's a reason the others resulted in profit.
Look at that, Betty. 2 sets of twins. Oh, you'll get my booze
So
back,
yeah,
won't
if you partner with I
So
can't
you
remember
bring
his
me back
name
my bottle?
more often, a lot of his things
Let's
are like
find
really
this, my
scummy,
guy.
like enacting child labor. Like that's really scummy. Not a fan of that. But on the other hand, if you do that, if you keep the factories pumping and you enact child labor, there is monetary gain up front, immediate, that supplements what you're building towards.
That must be Magpie. And there's... Get in,
All
little
right, so now we
sparrow.
got to do
Don't wake him
the
up.
sneak up. Don't want to hit any boxes. Don't want to walk too fast. And my God, does he snore loud.
Ah, stupid Pete. You snooze, I take your booze.
All right, there we
Let's
go.
go collect our gold from the lady and the tramp.
And I'll be honest, I'm going to give the booze to the lady
Wait!
because
Why'd you
clearly the
say
man is already too
slowly?
drunk. He's
Would you
seeing
let
double
me
when we walked
quickly
up.
kill myself? Hey, the quadruplets are back.
Worst
You've
ruler
got
ever is what they
booze.
use to
I can
cancel me on
smell it.
Twitter.
Are you sure it's not your...
I
over the wine,
always,
little sparrow.
for whatever reason, I know so many people when they play these
problem is,
fantasy
you're
games.
weak. Give me the wine.
All right, giving the wife the wine. All right, so many
Hold
people
it.
when they play
There's
these
some paper
fantasy
in the
games, they
bottle.
use it as the opportunity
I think this is yours.
to take evil paths and to
I used to be an accountant.
Well done. You probably saved his life.
I've never been able to do. Oh,
Yes.
Thank you,
another
buddy.
warrant.
I have never been able to willingly take the pure evil path. Now, when you get into the questions of morality and ethics, there is a lot of gray area. And I can do certain things in a game that play off of that and might seem negative up front, but I can't bring
I don't
myself
think they'll
to
miss this
be
Leroy if they see it.
an evil villainous character, and
Hey,
I
you
don't
found one
know
for us.
I don't know why. Like I can even play thieving characters. But again, if I'm playing a thief in like an Elder Scrolls game or something, oh, wait, hold on. I do not have any of the dog commands yet. Darn. But yeah, even when I play characters that are like
like a warrant,
notoriously considered
Only one more
evil
warrant
villainous
left to find.
characters,
Keep
thieves,
your eyes
assassins,
open.
whatever, I still try to put my own spin on it. So if I'm a thief, it's quite often more of a Robin Hood role.
That's all the warrants.
If I'm an
We should go back
assassin,
to
it's
that
kind of
guard.
more a freedom fighter kind of take on things. Oh, I've got all 5 warrants. Never mind. I was looking for another one.
Stop right there, you little brats.
When I do message her, she
creep,
will send
I told you
something
no
which
this
ends the
morning.
conversation.
Shut it,
Then
girl.
complaints
This isn't
that I
like that.
stopped replying, or I will
Don't
get
spoil
left
it.
undelivered, and she will still
I
complain
want-
that I stopped messaging.
So does our friend the
I have
guard.
had conversation. Okay,
But
hold
you're
on.
gonna
Let
give
me.
them to me, see? Otherwise, there'll be trouble.
Or I'm gonna walk right past
There'll
you,
be
and you're gonna
trouble,
do
alright?
nothing because you're a punk.
Have you found them? Thanks.
So yeah, all of
You're
these
a
little Halo
lifesaver.
smiley faces that we're seeing,
Now,
these are me
normally,
earning the
justice
good morality
is its own
points.
reward. But as these aren't normal circumstances, there's your gold piece.
All right, now I can
out
finally
this
do
town?
this one. Gotcha.
Shh. I think
Yeah,
Mother
when
heard us.
when you have someone kind of there's a little bit of manipulation going on
You
there. It sounds
again?
like Dem. So
I don't want you sniffing
I
around my
understand
daughter.
you wanting to cut it off.
Now push off before I call the guards.
How would I say this?
you
Fast and
animal.
hard. Although that implies something else very
Get in
different.
the
Do
house,
not
Belinda.
cut it off fast and
And
hard,
clean
Dem.
those floors.
Don't
As
cut
filthy
it
as that
off.
No good
Cut it off.
delinquent Monty.
You know what I mean. I had an ex that when I took my dog for a walk before messaging her that morning, she was pissed when I did message her finally. Meanwhile, she ignored me for 24 hours because she had a bad day. Yeah, there is a manipulation tactic at play there. I have been on the receiving end of that more than once. And it's
little
something that
ones, my
honestly, when
situation
you're
is
younger, and I mean
unbearable.
real young, when
Words
you're
can't
when
even
you're
begin
high
to
school
describe
love
it.
struck whatever nonsense,
Get
it
that little
plays
splat
way
Belinda.
differently
Don't
than it
let
does
her
when
mind
you're
it.
college years or post college years. You start to see that come about, and you're immediately just
Open
like,
the door
I
and
don't
let's
want
see your
any
answers.
of what's going on here. And I think for some
What do you
reason,
want?
Oh, we've got a letter. We need 1 gold for the postage.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? Come on in.
all right, and go upstairs.
Wait there while I get the money.
Oh, jeez, I'm struggling
and
on the
don't
stairs.
you touch anything.
Oh, this is wonderful. Here's something for your trouble. Oh, Monty.
Think you missed one of mine about
my
her?
little dove.
Oh, yes, I did. She liked me since I broke up with my ex in January.
I guess some people's wishes
tried
do
saying
come
I'm
true.
interested in others. Tried barely messaging her.
We
She spent
did
a
it.
week
We
at
can
a
buy the
friend's
music
who
box
told me
now.
she's
What are
basically
you
only
doing?
talks about me.
Get back in the
You
house.
see, honestly,
I'm
that
leaving,
part
Mother.
doesn't
I'm
sound
going
too
to marry
bad.
the man I
what
love.
gets questionable is the manipulation that comes in your second message.
Oh, Monty.
the idea that...
No, you don't. He's poor.
I love him. No, you don't. He's poor. Been there too. I'm a walk right out.
Talk to your mum like that.
I can't wait to see what it can do.
Hello, children.
Anyways, so as we
Very
wrap
nice
up
to buy
the
them
early
water
game,
buses.
get to know your game mechanics portion,
Go ahead and turn the handle, but mind you
yeah,
go somewhere quiet, like.
there is
Let's go make our wish, little sparrow.
an emotional leeching that goes on with some people, and these are people that are not necessarily bad people, but it's an emotional leeching on your relationship process that either you're willing to be a part of or you aren't. I have seen people make relationships like that work, and it evolves and becomes something different. But if you aren't already starting from the position of being someone to fight that fight, to work through that, it's a better relationship to not be a part of. And it's one that I think you grow out of your willingness to play that game
where did it go?
as you get older.
Why are we still here? 5 gold pieces.
I think that's the general way I was trying to portray that earlier. But yes, having that prior message dem does very much make a subtle difference in the interpretation of where you start from and where you end up.
What are you doing here?
To clarify, walking the dog was like 30 minutes maybe.
All right,
and I had just woken up before taking the dog for a walk. I had one very similar
Go to bed.
where, no surprise, quite often at various points in my life, I have a very inconsistent sleep schedule.
All right, settle
And
down.
there was
There's
a period
nice,
of like a week
angry,
straight. Now,
stray
I
dog.
was dating this person for like 2-3
boy.
months, right? No
What do you
issues,
want?
no problems. We were
Quiet work
communicating
for
quite
Lord
commonly.
Lucian, miss.
We'd go out on
And he would
dates.
very
We'd go
much
see
like
movies.
to see you in his castle.
You know, common
I've been sent to
decorum.
collect you.
And then there was like a week straight where, for whatever reason, my sleep schedule got thrown out of whack, and I was staying up late and chatting
Our
with
wish
her.
came true.
I finally got my sleep schedule
Come
back
on,
in
little
order,
sparrow. Wake up.
and slowly weaned back on how late I was
all right,
staying
doggy.
up because
We're going
it
to
was
Lord
affecting my
Lucian's
work.
castle.
And so I was
I'll come back for
I was
you.
waking up,
I
sending her
promise.
the usual message, but she was getting so angry at me because I wasn't staying up late and chatting with her anymore. And it was just, there is literally there are life choices I'm making. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to be with you, I want to have our conversations, I want to do the things that we should be doing, but I need to make money and pay my bills. Like, as much as I want to do these things, being with you does not put food on a table, does not give me a place to stay.
Evening, James.
So
Here are the children Lord Lucian
the fact that I
asked
couldn't
for.
be communicating with her
Excellent.
24/7 ended up
Hello,
being
young
the big
master.
problem, and it was just, look,
Hello, sir.
there is
If
too
you'll
much
follow
of a
me,
cling
please.
here, and I can't be doing
We
that.
look up at this castle every day and think how nice it is. We both do.
All right,
But
so this is
inside,
going to
it's
be one of the
even
big
more
parts in the
beautiful than
game.
I
So what we've
imagined.
built up so far is
It is quite
we're
wonderful,
poor,
isn't it?
we're homeless. Yo, this guy's outfit's pretty dope, though. Look at him.
Hello, Master Garth.
Anyways, yeah, we're poor, we're homeless,
Man of few words.
we have no
Where
parents,
is the
no one to
Grand Dining
rely
Hall?
on. We live up off of the
Oh, in the
streets.
North Wing.
Again,
Lord
we look
Lucian
at
hasn't
5
been in
gold
there
like
since-
that's a way to feed us for a
Since the
week.
tragic deaths of Lady Fairfax and little Amelia.
Now there's
Oh,
this big
I heard.
fancy
That
mansion
was so awful.
with clearly a very
Yes,
wealthy
he,
individual owning
misses
it.
them terribly.
We got a magic box. We
So,
wish that we
where
could
does he eat?
live here.
Actually, he takes most of his meals
We
in
made
his
a
study.
wish on that magic box.
He's in there working all hours doing research.
And now we get an
What
invite
does he
into the
research?
castle.
On history, mostly. Lord Lucian is quite keen on antiquities of all sorts, but he's chiefly interested in things relating to the Old Kingdom.
There was a trader in Old Town who said his stuff was from the Old Kingdom.
Yes, yes. I believe Lord Lucian heard about that.
We bought a piece of it, and we made a wish, and now we're here.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, when you meet Lord Lucian, you must show respect at all times. Address him as my lord, speak only when spoken to,
Yes, sir.
and do not mention Lady Fairfax or Amelia.
So, Lord Lucian is a man who is doing a lot of research on
Here we
Old
are.
Kingdom tech that
Lord
we've
Lucian,
just found
the
out.
children are here.
To quick summarize, he had a family that has passed away through some sort of accident.
Children, it's come to my attention that you have some sort of magic box.
And I think now we're well caught up.
It vanished, my lord. We were winding it up, and we made a wish, and then it started to glow, and it disappeared.
After you used it?
Yes, my lord. The man who sold it to us said it was magic.
The box is of no interest to me. What's remarkable is that you were able to use it. What was your wish?
Oh.
Well, speak up. What did you wish for?
To live in a castle, like this one.
Perhaps that could be arranged. I'm working to rebuild... Well, I'm working on something wonderful, for which I need individuals with particular talents. Let us find out if you possess them. Would you kindly stand in the circle, please? I promise it won't
This one,
hurt
sir? The magic circle that seems to have some sort of engraving that can't possibly be a bad sign?
What's that?
you. Nothing to worry about. It's true.
Also,
Your
with a name
blood.
like Lucian, you are clearly not
heroes.
built to be a bad guy.
Heroes? You mean like in the old stories?
What are you?
You just said we're heroes.
Wait.
My lord!
Something here. There was...
What's that like?
Quiet! You're heroes, but you're not any of the three. One of you is the fourth.
What's happening?
Well, this is clearly gonna go well.
What I wanted. But nothing must stand in my way.
No, wait! Don't! No!
So yeah, the game opens up like, wow, look at how tragic your life is. By the way, now we're gonna have a guy kill your
Can't allow
sister.
you to live either. I'm sorry.
But one of the reasons that I really wanted to play Fable is I was reading recently that there's still more information slowly coming out about Fable 4, which was rumored to be in development, God, years and years and years ago. It got canceled, brought back, canceled again. It's been in development hell. I think Fable 3 was, what, 2010, maybe as late as 2012? So it's been more than 10 years since we've had another Fable game. Again, the original group that was making this game, the industry developing it, I'm pretty sure they went under, they went bankrupt or whatever.
Lucian disappeared from Castle Fairfax that night, certain that those who might stand in his way were dead. But some grief is so great, even death may keep its
doggo!
distance. And so the boy survived. Days later, far from the dark alleys of Bowerstone, life slowly returned to his small, broken body. The boy awoke to a familiar face watching over a strange bed. He reached out for the comfort of the dog's warm fur.
Anyways, a lot of the rumors going around about what the story is going to be in Fable 4, a lot of it dates back to the Fable 2 storyline and the concept of the spire that we're going to learn a little bit here in a moment.
and to avenge the death that
But
still haunted his
that's
every
kind of
dream.
why I wanted to replay the game, is to refamiliarize myself with those parts of the story. Also, look at
there you
him.
are.
This was
And your
a
faithful
huge
friend,
deal in
too.
Fable 2. Getting a dog
Many years ago, I
companion
promised I would help
and being
you
able to
avenge your
actually
sister's death.
interact with it.
That day
I
has come.
still remember that was one of the
Today,
bigger
you leave
selling
the
points
safety
of the
this
game.
camp and seek out
And in
Lucian.
my opinion, there
The
has
journey
not
will
been
not be
a
easy.
better good boy created as a character in a
There's a
game
chest near your
where the dog was meant to exist through the entire thing. I stand by the premise. If you're familiar with the story of Fable 2, the dog is the greatest hero of all of the team. Yeah, who's a good boy? Alright, so that's where I gotta head, which I actually currently own that property. So they do give me an actual... It's not really a house, it's more like a caravan. But you see all of the papers here? I can buy and rent out all of this property. So all of this stuff is going to have a huge upfront cost. And then over time I can actually collect rent. I can become the slum lord. But you can adjust your rental fee. You can adjust how much you maintain the property. You can even start to decorate when you start buying full-sized homes. You can decorate the homes of that you own and increase the value. So you can be like a very generous landlord, or you can be, as I said, full-blown slumlord. And the doggo elixir. Alright, there we go. We have the basics of our adventuring group.
Hey, it's Sparrow.
Now, I don't
How's it
think
going?
I need to actually... Yeah, I can rent this out right off the gate. So now, I still own the property, but eventually someone's going to move in and it will start generating me passive income. Obviously, it's one caravan in one section of a generally low value area, so it's not going to be a lot.
Now come with me.
But any amount of money is going to be pretty nice. Always sucks when teams that make amazing games go bankrupt. It's a shame. Yeah, admittedly, like I said, the Fable games did lose a little bit of their luster between each iteration of them. But they gained something from it as well, and I really think if they were allowed to give the care and
it will also allow
development concepts that they wanted to, and keep the spirit of their game, I genuinely think that the franchise of Fable could have gone even bigger places. It was never a major budget game. Like you can look at it and you can kind of see that even in 2008 when this game came out, there were better looking games. Fable was not the highest of budget games, but it was a game that, at the very least in the first two, had a lot of spirit that went into them, and I think that genuinely shows as you play it. The characters that you get to know, the personalities at play, the way that they kind of try to dance some of the morality concepts. Some are very clear, and you really have to be an evil jackass to take the evil path. But you also have to, like, actually benevolently try if you're going to take all of the good paths, too. And I did like that. If you wanted to be good, you couldn't just be passively a decent person. No, if you wanted to go all in, you had to put in that extra effort. I had a landlord that made us have to give up two of our old cats at a time. Our aunt had lived here before us, had one of those cats, and he was her landlord and was fine with it. We have, I've mentioned it before, my family, we started with owning our home. Owning isn't the right word, the bank owned it, we were still paying off on it. And from there, we unfortunately lost the house, money dried up, finances went to shit. There were problems. There's a whole story to it, and I've gone through the story before. But point is, we lost the house, and we were homeless. And we were homeless for a good little bit until we did move into a rental home. The rental home landlord, for whatever reason, really seemed to like us. We cared for the property we were at. We even did home improvements. Quite often we would run them by him. It was, hey, we want to do X, Y, and Z.
You will need to jump into that hole to
can we get approval for this?
Don't worry.
And we quite often got approval because they were usually home improvements. The landlord even let us, this was the first time we had chickens. Let us have chickens on the property. He was like, yeah, sure. There's an old shed. I was going to tear it down, but if you repair the shed a little bit and make it able to house animals, you can have chickens in it. Okay, apparently I'm not supposed to climb up there, so we're going to go around the long way. I know that there are some things you can find in here, and if you find them, they're great early game money-making opportunities. But yeah, that was the only landlord I've ever had to deal with, because after that, it was my father passed away. There was insurance money at play. There were there was a lot going on that we were able to. Point is, we went from the position we were in to owning the home. Just gonna keep shooting these guys with my crossbow. I really like, in Fable 2, it's all about the magic and the ranged combat for me. A lot of the melee combat, it really is the fallback for me when I play this game. But anyways, yeah, so I've had good landlords anytime I've had one, which is once. However, that's not to say that I'm not familiar with how absolutely god-awful landlords can be. Plenty of my friends have had to rent property, and I have seen some absolute scummery that comes out of some of these people. This is one of the big things with the dog, is the dog will point to treasure chests, loot out in the field, like that key. Those silver keys are how I get a lot of the better chests in the game. The dog will also find spots that I need to dig up items, and that is where some of the unique money-making opportunities come in. You can actually just dig up diamonds, but your dog has to be skilled enough in the art to be able to find the diamonds in the first place. Alright, let me get a little bit of distance here. So, what I get, these little orbs that I'm gathering, these actually determine my experience in the game. As I recall, I think blue is my magic, which I do not have yet. I think red is melee combat, and yellow is my range. Because I like having magic and range be my combat, I'm doing all of my fighting off of that. So unless I start slapping something with a sword, I won't be getting the melee experience. Let me see if I can demonstrate that in the next fight.
You'll have to shoot the switch to go any further.
There we go. So they're also teaching me how certain locks will work. Some have to be struck with a particular combat option in order to open. To clarify, he's no longer a landlord. He basically got... How do you get fired from being a landlord? I'm curious about that, Richard. From my experience with landlords, they are in the position they're in because they own the property. Unless maybe they were, like, filling in as the acting landlord for someone who wasn't in the area. Also, yes, would not want to be giving up. Again, pets are parts of the family. You don't just give up animals. Like, even if you find yourself in a terrible position like that, like the prior person who had Rhea, there is a vetting process you have to go through. You have to know that they're going to a loving home. You don't just drop them off at a shelter and run away. That is never the way to do any of that. Currently playing my Pearl Nuzlocke on my way to the second gym. And just took the first death. Okay, so you got your first death on your way to the second gym. Double battle using both confusion and one got a crit. Yep, confusion on a Machop. A crit confusion on a Machop will do that all day long. Unfortunately, Machops are physically strong, but their defenses aren't all that great. My mom's landlord was selling the house. Tried giving back half the deposit due to natural wear and being unclean. She hired a cleaner to do the job top to bottom, cleaning the house, I assume. She had lived there for 5 years, so wear cannot be taken off. She got the full deposit back after calling the renting company. Yeah, again, the odd thing for us when we were renting is so much changed around the house that there was wear on the house. There was damages done to the house. One of the things that I remember clearly was we had actually damaged one of the walls of the house. I don't remember how or to what extent, but there was damage to the wall. Hold up, got some enemies coming in. Alright, so I'm going to shoot this one with a crossbow, and then slap the other ones with a sword. And you can see, alright, we're getting blue orbs for the sword. So blue is our melee, yellow is our range, red is our magic. Green is generic. Green is just your experience for doing the hero things, for your fighting. So you can use that across any of the other three to fill in any shortcomings. But yeah, like I said, even though we had wear and damage, I'm pretty sure we got our full deposit back because, again, we did a lot of repair and upkeep and so on that added value to the house when we were leaving. There we go.
Those green orbs hold the knowledge and experience of the creatures that you kill.
But again, it was a landlord who was very easy to work with, and as I understand it, that's actually not even very common. It is far more likely that you will get more of a mundane, bland landlord than you will get one that is favorable to work with. And then there's also the other end of the spectrum where you will get landlords that are absolutely just scumbags, and frankly, you wonder how the hell they even get to exist in society. Obviously, I mean that more in a social interaction way than anything else. Oh, I think I passed one of these earlier. This appears to be a page from an explorer's diary, recording the details of an expedition into this cave. 3rd day. My hand is shaking from exhaustion, but I must remain vigilant. I almost nodded off last night as we camped around the fire, but still managed to keep an eye on Eric and Drake. I've seen the greedy glimmer in their eyes. They mean to make the treasure theirs. Perhaps it is time to make use of the poison. Brendan. So, you will actually get, like, lore about what's going on around you from pickups. Also, books you can buy at certain bookstores and so on. I think I've missed one of the... I think I've already missed one of the corpses to get the... Is it over here? It might be down here. I'm going to take the shot and hope it is. Yeah, okay, it was right. I was looking at it and I couldn't tell if that was it or a pile of ropes. Again, old game. The graphics ain't what they are these days. This unposted letter was written by a member of an expedition of treasure hunters. Dearest Harriet, our voyage into the entrails of Bower Lake has taken a turn for the worse. I only hope I can survive to see daylight again. You were right about Brendan and Drake. They are selfish brutes, conspiring behind my back, plotting my murder, so that they can keep the treasure themselves. But fear not, my love, for I plan to poison their water supplies as they sleep. Soon we shall be rich. Feverishly yours, Eric. So, obviously you can see that these adventurers were, to put it in Dungeons & Dragons terms, they were an entire team of rogues. And when you have a Dungeons & Dragons group, having one rogue in a party, good idea. Having 4 rogues in a party, bad idea. Hey, Karo-chan, welcome to the stream. How have things been? I know I have sent you a couple messages about the chicken coop fiascos that have been going on. Oh, hold up, we got some drop-ins coming in. But I'm not sure. Did I ever send you the picture that I put out there of Mungo with the baby chick? It is one baby chick. The entire story here is we had a couple of chicks that we got originally. One of them unfortunately got sick and died. And so while the other chicks are now several weeks old, we had to get another baby chick. This one is the smallest of the group. Was prone to getting picked on by the other chicks. Obviously, size and, trying to figure out the so-called pecking order is going to play a role into all of that. And for whatever reason, while we were cleaning the cage one day, Mungo laid down next to it, and of course there's the immediate, oh god, a baby chicken and a cat next to each other. And the immediate panic was subsided by literally nothing happened. Mungo just lays down next to the chick. And from there, we end up with the chicken climbing all over Mungo. And again, we know Mungo can be temperamental. He's not one to just roll over for anybody. But he just sits there, lays down, lets the cat climb all over him. And eventually the cat starts nestling up into the tuft of fur on his back, and it was the perfect picture opportunity of the chick just kind of huddling up to him, like what's the thing I'm thinking? Like He-Man riding Battle Cat or whatever the name is. But it made for a perfect picture, and I couldn't not jump on that. And I think I sent that to everyone. No. Come on. There we go. It was so cute. It was one of the better pictures I've gotten recently. I had one where I had wished my brother was nearby to take the picture. But it was not chicken related. It was with the new dog, Rhea. Spring has come around, all the snow has melted, and so I was going across the yard to... Let's head off this way. So I was going around the yard picking up all the sticks that had fallen over the winter. And I had gathered up a whole pile of them. One limb was much longer than the others, and so I was reduced to... Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a hit here, possibly. Or not.
Those green orbs hold the knowledge and experience
Anyways,
of the creatures that you kill.
While I was picking up the sticks, one of them was much longer than the others, and I had to drag it behind me. And I thought it was absolutely adorable that Rhea comes running up from the house, starts walking behind me, picks up the back end of that stick. So it was literally unnecessary and made the job harder than it had to. But I wasn't going to tell her no for trying to help me to pick up those sticks. I've been not seeing rabbits. I've been not seeing rabbits in my yard lately, so I've been accidentally scaring them off. Oh, okay, I get it. They have been there and you don't see them when they're there. Okay. So I've been accidentally scaring them out before I could see them and get a picture. I recall last year you had shared several pictures of some rabbits in your yard. There are some animals that we get that I do not want to see in the yard. Here we go. Got a couple of books here to grab. Again, I don't think there's much need for me to have these other than they have value, and in the early game, anything that I can sell for money is very important because right now we are incredibly broke. But again, remember how I mentioned at the start of the game we were like, yo, 5 gold is like how we could feed ourselves for a week? We just started the game and we've got 150 in our pocket. So, you know, making some morally bad choices for the hero ending I want to go to, even if I could
Beyond
get double dip on the
lies
funding,
Heroes Guild.
would not have made a difference.
For centuries, this academy trained the most supremely
I don't think it was
gifted sons
poorly
and
worded,
daughters of
Richard. I
Albion,
think I was
bound
breaking
together
it
by the
up
blood that flowed
in
their veins.
segments
Once worshipped
as
by
I
the
tried
people
to
of
read it and
Albion,
interpret
the great heroes
it, not
came to
as
be
the way
feared
as
and
it was
hated.
written by you.
No man alive today remembers the night the guild burned, and now it lies forgotten. Your blood is awakening.
Wait a minute. I never noticed. Hold up. I
You
want
can now
to
channel
explore
the
this a little bit.
experience you have collected into strength, skill, or will. Strength
Yeah,
improves
okay.
combat with
At the end of the
hand-to-hand
first
weapons.
game, you have
Skill
a battle
allows you to
with
shoot
a
faster
rogue
and
hero.
with greater accuracy.
Originally, there
Will
was
gives
an
you
entire
control
guild of
over the
heroes,
forces
many
of
of them.
magic.
And this,
Before you is a colour's
why
gate.
did I never
It
notice
reacts
that?
to the will of one who
This
seeks
is
to use
actually
it.
where that fight
You
takes
have not
place.
been able to use will yet, but the simple act of reaching this place has given you will experience. You need to learn a will ability to activate the colour's
Alright,
gate.
so that one has to be hit with some magical powers.
Now
So,
use the knowledge
of
you
the
have gained
will
so far
spells,
to better yourself in strength, skill,
I'll be
and
honest,
will.
one of my favorite is actually the Raise Dead skill.
Causes the bones of the recently
Not because
deceased
it's
to rise
particularly
and fight
valuable
for
in
you.
combat per se, but it gives the enemies something else to focus on. So while I love doing the ranged combat, if I use the Raise Dead skill, I can back away and just start blasting. But I don't think that actually lets me get out of here, because there's no way for me to use it to target the orb. Blades is a fun one. You create a bunch of swords and you can
Blades
send them
creates
towards
magical
enemies.
swords to impale your enemies.
I think shock is the one that I use very
Shock
commonly
stuns your enemies and
because the
blasts
area
them
of
with lightning.
effect option stuns enemies quite often. I think one of your more versatile spells is probably going to be like Inferno or whatever. I'm going to go with shock. What is this game? This is Fable 2. It is an Xbox 360 game back from 2008. It never got any like PC releases or anything. It might have, but I don't think
Can
it's
you feel the
available
power
anymore if it
coursing
did.
through? Well done.
I
Now
can't
you are
open this
ready to
chest
begin
because
your
this
journey.
ties to
Use the
something that's
colours
no
gate.
longer available. But it is a game that I grew up playing and I really liked. I played Fable 1, 2, and 3. So I'm very attached to the franchise, and a little bit ago, I was reading up some information about the upcoming, still in development, that has been
Use
stuck
your
in
newfound
development hell for
abilities to
forever, Fable 4 game. Alright, starting to get a little... There we go. Gotta go to the sword. The sword is a lot faster, but is not my preferred combat method.
Make your way to
It puts
Bowerstone,
me
and
far
we'll meet you
too
there.
up front in the danger zone. And in this game, it does... I mentioned that there are things that come into play, like the morality gauge. there's also damage. The damage your character takes will physically be represented on your character. You can actually get scars in this game. Another thing that can happen is the game does not shy away from the possibilities of real-world actions, and to dance the topic as gently as I can, your character, your hero, your legendary being, your character of power beyond the norm, is still just a mortal and can contract STDs. So, as per the classic reference, don't be silly, wrap your willy. So, yeah, the game does rely on a lot of crude humor. It's very much, it wears its personality on its sleeve. It doesn't hide behind nuance very often. And from what I understand about the franchise... Oh, don't want to shoot the rabbit. From what I understand about the franchise, it's actually one that is oftentimes really liked by people who are autistic. Which I've mentioned before, that does fill in the gap for me and explain why I might have enjoyed the game so much. I don't know why. It's probably because of its blunt delivery on things and its not wanting to hide behind nuances,
the
as I
road to
said.
Bowerstone is closed due to the bandit activity. I'm afraid that as long as the bandit Thag is alive, the road stays closed. If you're in an hurry, like, you can always take care of Thag yourself.
But it also plays off of a lot of the time, European humor and the way of delivering. So, in a lot of ways, you'll run into things that would quite commonly fly in like a Monty Python sketch.
He is a danger to all, and must be dealt with.
But that's also why the voice actors all have the accents that they
continue
do.
your quest. No doubt they are at his camp near Bower Lake.
And Teresa, the person speaking to me in my brain, is one of the... I don't know if I'd say heroes, but they are a being that had the hero lineage from the first game. In the first game, you play the brother of a brother-sister dynamic. Your sister gets taken when your hometown is raided. Okay, I know we're about to jump into this, but I've got to see. Alright, so I can afford any one of these, I think.
Dexterous styles unlock
No,
special moves for
I cannot
ranged
afford
weapons
accuracy.
and other abilities crucial to a skilled
This gives
fighter.
me my dodge roll, though, which is very nice. I'm going to take that. Because I'm about to get in a fight where I'm probably going to need that.
Look out! It's an ambush!
So again, I'm going to sit back and just keep blasting them with my crossbow, and they're going to let me, because we're still early in the game and they aren't overly aggressive yet. They're not going to let me do this indefinitely. Eventually they will try to take a swing, but I think they're going to let me get a few phases in before they do that. Switch over to sword. It really does hold your hand for much of it, but not indefinitely. I think the game reaches its peak as far as like what it's trying to deliver on a difficulty scale around the time that you start having to meet the other heroes. We aren't quite there yet, so it's still being very hand-holdy.
No one defies
And you kick
that
my dog,
impatient.
you lose your
I'll
head.
touch you myself. I'll give you 3 seconds to get ready. No, wait, 2. Oh, sod it. Ah! Oh, what kind of...
Another thing that separates this game apart is magic does not have any sort of magic meter. So your magical powers are kind of what is your indicative line as proving your heroic status.
Famous enough to use the follow and wait expression.
Not anybody can channel will into the supernatural, and being able to cast spells is kind of the quickest and easiest way to prove that you have that option. Alright, hold up. They want me to level up. I want to heal my dog.
The key to the cage in his hut. It's in a chest.
Alright, let's go to the dog. Heal dog. I do not even like hearing the whimper. I don't like seeing him limp around. Again, when it comes to video game dogs, I have a almost weird connection of how much I love the dog in Fable 2. There are more expressive dogs. There are largely considered, you know, more what's the word I'm looking for? Involved dogs that you get in other games over the times, but
don't even think about letting them out. Those slaves belong to me. I paid for them. Look, I don't want any trouble. Give the key to me and I'll make it worth your while.
Alright, so here is one of the morality choices.
No, don't listen to him.
I can let the people out,
Shut up.
and I get literally nothing. There is nothing I get.
Would you, Sparrow?
Other than a couple of good
I'm
boy
not gonna tell
points
you
that
again.
mean nothing and can be earned faster and easier through other means. If I give the
what do
key
you
to the
say,
trader,
stranger?
they
Feel
are
like
sold
getting
into
a little
slavery,
richer
and
today?
basically I get a cut. I could be
Thank
given
you
actual
so
cash, or I can let them free.
Can't believe you did that.
And as I said, we are in the early game right
Free
now.
to wander the
Money
paths
is
and
not
byways
easy
of
to
the
get.
land. No master but the wind itself. Time stretched out before us like...
Dem, I'd
like-
take the money.
What's the
And,
word
and
I
here's
want,
the thing,
Reg?
Dem.
don't know.
Taking
And it's
the evil
Regina.
points early on
Right, I'm going now.
is
Thanks
arguably the better way to play for the
yes,
optimized run, because
You just turned
there
down all
are
cash.
unique gates in this game that you have to
They will
do
never
evil
forget your
things to
kindness.
open. Behind
You're a
these
nutter,
gates
you know
are
that,
literally
a
all of
nutter.
the best loot. If you're going to...
I
Oh,
think
hold up. If you're going to try to get everything and be the min-max player of the
Meet me
game,
in Bowerstone
the
Market
best
by the
way
clock
is to
tower.
be like start
There's
out as
something you
an
must see.
evil fallen hero and rise back up through the ranks, because your good boy points are a lot easier to earn in the latter part of the game. Obviously, the numbers get bigger and the benefits go more and more wild. And his name is Dick. Wait a second. Well, Richard, how do you feel about slave trade? Are we going to learn something here? Obviously, what we have learned is Dem likes money. And frankly, I respect that. Not sure I respect the whole, slave trade, but I respect the money. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Alright, we gotta head around and back up, because we gotta go back to that barricade. Oh, that reminds me. One of the, let me see, social trophies? Yeah! He kicked my dog, and I literally took his head. Frankly, I think that's a fair trade. I would have much preferred, not having the kicking of the dog, but you do it, and the deed's got to be done. Bet against my
Apparently
football
someone
team today.
Killed off that bandit
And,
leader, so it's safe now. I'd like to shake
Hold
the
up
hand
a
of the
second.
bloke who did it.
Hold up, I'm gonna back away from here. What were the odds where, if I'm reading this right, you bet, what is it, 40, is it pence? Is that how they do that? Anyway, the European equivalent of 40 cents, and you walked away with 20 pounds. What were the odds that your team was gonna lose then? Because it sounds like you bet that they would lose. Which, by the way, is the sign of someone, in my opinion, who knows their team and is smart about their interest and their hobby. If you know your team and you know what they're capable of, and you know when they're in a high and when they're in a rut, you've got a good opportunity to make some money there, as long as you're willing to actually be real about your team and not just fanatically back for no reason.
First one. I'm just starting out. Listen to this. A hero went to Bower Lake and gave the thag a bellyache.
So this bard, I seem to recall you will meet him and other bards around the town as you go through the game, and they will have little songs or poems about your exploits as you progress through the game, and it will change as you go. I don't remember if I... Okay, he just follows me anyways. I didn't remember if I had to do something or what. But yes, you can actually become so beloved by the people if you go all in down the hero path. You can be so beloved by the people, they will just start giving you gifts.
Don't you think? There's usually a few stalls set up if you fancy some shopping.
And frankly, that's a great place to be at the end game, because unless you're taking the evil path early on, you don't get a lot of opportunities to...
A bit of an epic feel on that one.
I have bad news. I'm afraid I will be delayed for a while.
Where are the sales going on? Blacksmith, that's a big one.
In the meantime, you should buy some new equipment and prepare for the challenges ahead. But you'll need money. If you need money, there are jobs to be found. I believe the blacksmith...
Need to wait for her to finish speaking, but 40 pence. Okay, so I did have it right. It is pence. So you bet 40 pence and you walked away with 20 pounds. That is an absurd win. Anytime I've bet on something, it always seems like the trade-off is, you know, bet $1, make $2. Like, it's always just like a double your input if you win kind of thing. I can't imagine what the odds were. I bet the other team to win, most corners in each half, most shots on target in each half. Odds were 51-1. My God. Alright, so let's see what they have here. I am a big fan of the pistol runs. The rifles are also pretty decent. And I'm going to want to go right into the iron if I can. They don't have any iron pistols. So I might buy just the crossbow. It's not what I necessarily want to go for, but it's... The fire rate on the rifle is god-awful. The damage is great. For the damage per shot, the rifle is the better way to go. But I like the quick option of the pistol. We don't have nearly enough money for any of the good stuff, so I'm gonna sell the mace. I'm not gonna keep that. I don't like the maces. And we're gonna work a job real fast to get a couple of bucks.
Jackets, gloves, shoes, I've got them all.
Nice bit of forging.
I was reading the chat and I realized that, oh wait, I started the minigame. Ah, jeez.
Take your time. Plenty for everyone.
And the way the minigame goes is the more you get consistently, the more money you make per dagger that you make.
You know how to use a hammer?
Unfortunately, the limitations of the game at the time and the lack of optimization in what they're doing, eventually the game actually starts to lag by the increased speed of literally the mini game.
Need any assistance? Nice blade.
Another funny thing is passerbys that will see you while you're working on these mini games where you're making money actually get a social benefit for you if they see you working. For whatever reason, it seems that if they walk by and see a random traveler coming in and doing work within their community, I guess that registers as a benefit to them socially. It can be a funny way to actually...
More for your money today.
Oh, if I stop, I actually can make more money.
That's how you make
I'll finish this one and call it there.
Now close it.
Wouldn't recommend betting, but I go each day and spin a free wheel. I won you won a pound on that, so I put it on a few different things at like 10 cents each. Won a few, lost a few. Now it sounds like now you're up quite a fair bit. The thing for me about gambling is when I play a game where I gamble, I like having something that can fluctuate. And so the way I look at value for what I spend money on is the cost to time of enjoyment. So if I'm gambling and I go in someplace with $100 in my pocket and I say I'm willing to spend $100, I have to consider how long can I spread that $100 out to justify the fun I'm having playing whatever game I'm playing. So I like blackjack, and blackjack is a good game for me on this one because it's one where you will sometimes win, sometimes lose, and you will have many, many hands played by the time you either are up enough that you're done playing or you're down enough and you've lost everything. You have to be particularly bad, and I mean particularly bad, to run through at a low stakes table $100 in no time at all.
Very heart of Bowerstone.
That said,
this is where
gambling is something that you should never do as an attempt to make money. Anybody that thinks they're going to gamble and try to make money, they're playing the game wrong, so to speak. Almost forgot to buy my crossbow. I seem to recall that I actually get a yew crossbow very soon. So I think I won't. Same thing with an iron longsword. If I could afford something steel, it wouldn't be as big of an issue. The next big spot, and unfortunately it has closed, would be the potion shop. Did it close?
You can buy weapons here.
Yeah, that's a home. This is the potion shop. And the thing about the potion shop is you can actually buy experience at the shop. One of the easiest way to get experience when you have excess money, although I don't exactly have excess money right now. Wins $1 million, I wager it all so that I can be super rich. Yeah, that's the kind of thing you see in movies, where you go to like the roulette table or something, and you just keep saying let it slide, let it slide, let it slide. I've never actually seen someone do that and win out in any favorable sense unless you are taking a very cheap winning bet. If you're going to a roulette table, there's a lot of ways you can break down your bet. You can bet it on whether it's going to be an even number, an odd number, what color the number is going to land on. Is it dividable by 7, I think, is one of them. There's so many ways you can break down what your bet is. And the smaller risk you take, the lower your winnings will be. And so if you're going to do something safe, like saying it's going to land on red, that's your best opportunity to let it slide and have something come out as a benefit. But even then, you have to win multiple games to really see big wins in comparison to one bet of it being on a lower win rate.
Think about your life.
Is it dividable by 7
or 3? All the places
3?
You've been, the people you've known, everything you've done.
Most gambling addicts quit before they win $1 million. They keep betting.
And his men, they had just as many. And now they have none, because of you.
Keep betting, don't quit.
Do you feel the weight of responsibility yet?
So yeah, that sounds like Dem is giving big
Your
advice
enthusiasm
about
will have its uses. But mind it
the
does
number
not
one way to
consume
win
you.
at anything, including gambling, is don't give up.
The world is better off without Thag.
It's
and
funny how
certainly
you can
Bower Lake is
twist
in your
normally
debt.
good advice like that.
But to really see the impact of your actions,
How do you
need
do
look
good in
no
the world?
further than
How about
Bowerstone.
just don't stop what you're
It has
doing?
changed
Keep
much
going
since you
until you
lived
turn
here.
it into a success.
Particularly Old Town.
How
where
do you
spent
fail?
your childhood.
Gamble. How do you turn good
Never
advice
forget
into bad
that even the
advice?
simplest
Combine
choice
the
can
two.
have far-reaching consequences. Look,
Yeah, the
That
the
is where
biggest
Lucian is
win
now.
I've ever had.
the tattered spy.
I went in with $20, and it's just because I was allowed to stay at a place for free.
The spy
And
was
I
intended
went
as a
into the
conduit
casino
for all
part
the
part
magic
of
in
the
world,
casino hotel,
granting
whatever.
the kingdom's ruler a power
Uh,
so great he could
I had
bring
$20 in
reality
my
to his
pocket,
will.
and I figured, this is what I'm gonna play with, and I
On the
walked out
day
with
it was completed,
$50.
and the
I
first
walked out
wish
with $50 after playing
light
for like
bloomed inside.
3 hours.
Though its nature
So I had
could not
highs,
have
I had lows, but by the end of it, I still walked
Albion
away
shattered.
more than doubling my money.
Centuries of civilization were wiped out.
That
in
said,
moments.
I
Its
have
people erased
I have
from existence.
notoriously
Some say
bad
that
luck
this was the
with
first wish, an end to a hollow
slot
and corrupt
machines,
world,
and my
for a
aunt
purer one to take
loves
its
the
place.
slot machines. So, as I tell the story here, one
And now
time
the spire rises once
she
again
was
by
paying for
Lucian's
my
hand.
family to
Lucian
be out
found
at a certain
documents
place
which foretold the coming of
because
one
she
who
was
would
trying
stop him
to
using
play the
spire.
system, so to speak. They
is
had
why
a
your sister
reward
died.
system based on how much
that
money
is
was
why you
spent
will face
under
him.
one account.
The cards
Certain
have
people
shown me
being.
this.
Anyways, she was trying to get
Here.
to a new threshold to get
Take a
certain
look.
benefits from her.
Each of the three
What's the word I'm
heroes
looking
you see
for?
in the cards
From her
is a
paying
step
into
on
the system
hidden
or whatever.
path to Lucian's downfall.
So
And the
she
life
paid for
force
us to
of
be there.
heroes,
She gave us some money
will
to gamble.
itself, is the
But
key to
this
the
was my
spire's
first
power.
time gambling, and I said, "Look."
Lucian's agents
Aunt-
scour the land, even as
I
we
don't know if I
speak.
said her name already, so I'm just going to go with
You
L.
must find the
Aunt
three
L.
heroes
Go
before
ahead and
Lucian
think the
does,
Death Note L. It
because
would
you
make
are
it
the
even
fourth,
funnier.
The one who will bring his downfall.
Anyways,
I have
so
seen a vision
Aunt
of
L.
a holy ritual in Oakfield.
I play gambling
Salvation,
games
though bittersweet,
on
is
like
delivered by
digitally,
one
like
of
they're not
incredible
real
strength.
money. And I can tell you
Speak
right
to
now,
the abbot at the Temple of
I
Light
can
and see what you can learn
understand
of this
the risk reward
The road to
rate
Oakfield will
of,
be
of
dangerous.
where you're at in a
Good
lot of
luck.
card games. I don't do slot games. I don't do roulette. I do games where some degree of thinking can take place. If everything is all about purely the luck of the roll, it's not a game for me. I will not win. There's no benefit here. And she tells me, no. They have really good slots here. You might not win, but you should be able to go for quite a while. Here's $100. Go to the penny slots. If you don't know what a penny slot is, that's basically where the simplest way to play it costs 1 penny. Now, you can pay more into these slots and have more opportunities and avenues in which you can win, but it's all based on pennies. I went through $20 and then I went to a card game and because I went through $20 in no time at all. I didn't win a single.
It's you.
Again, when you play with
you've
slots,
changed since you were
if
last
you are
running
playing like a
around
penny
this
slot
place.
and you might bet a nickel,
But I
you have a bunch of
recognise
ways
what's
to
in
win,
those eyes.
but the lower
Goodness,
tier wins
decency,
might still only give you
respect for the
1
law.
penny. So you will have what's called a winning loss. You won on the wheel, but you lost because you didn't actually make money.
The Temple of Light is...
Where is this dig spot, boy? Is it in the garden? Alright, he seems like he is unfortunately clipped on the fence here. Let's see if we can get him off of it. So yeah, I went through and I went $20. Didn't even have a winning loss. It was just loss after loss after loss, doing the maximum bet on a penny slot. Found a jet.
Welcome to this region,
A
stranger.
low value gemstone. Anyway, so after going through 20 bucks that way and just being like, there's no fun here, I'm not... How can there be any fun in me just putting money in a machine and never seeing anything out of it? Not even the funny lights and sounds that come from a winning loss. So I went and I played some card games. And I made some of that money back playing card games until my aunt came around and said, Ian, I thought you were at the penny slots. What happened? I told her what happened. I came back to the card game. I started to make back some of the money I lost. And she goes, that's impossible. There's no way you went that many games without winning anything. So she took me back to the penny slots, adamant that I must have been lying. I went through another $80. She sat there next to me. Oh, okay, I didn't dig in the right spot. Here we go. Another $80 again, without even a single winning loss. And she is just like slack-jawed looking at me like there's no way this could even happen. I've never seen anyone with such bad luck. So obviously I'm incredibly flattered that my aunt realizes my luck is god-awful. And she's irritated that I wasted $100, and I said, Aunt Linda, I was doing good on the card game. Why did you pull me away from the card game? She was so adamant that her way to play was like the way to make money.
Bandits!
But yeah, it is one of my favorite stories to talk about when it comes to...
Hello. This isn't what it looks like.
No? It really looks like you're, going over the corpses and trying to find some loot.
I didn't kill these people. The bandits did. They took the loot, but they didn't check the bodies. Look, these fellas don't need this stuff anymore. No harm done, right? You can help yourself too. Take whatever you find.
Okay, Dean?
I'm not greedy.
No. You are, but I get it. Honestly, you're not wrong. These people can't use this where they're going. And 50 gold is 50 gold.
Ooh,
I will
nice,
let bygones be bygones, but
I'm sure they'd want you to have it.
Don't do the deed yourself. That's where I draw the line. Just imagine anytime she loses, she writes the name of the owner on the casino in her book. My aunt with the death note just being like, the dealer dies right now, new dealer comes in, I win 50 bucks, everyone else gets to go home happy. Never expect someone to be lying when they say they lost a lot of money gambling. Exactly that will happen if you do. Yeah, and again, I went and I played the game that I enjoy playing, and I was able to make some money doing that. I mean, make money might not be the right thing, but I wasn't losing it as fast, and I was having a lot more fun.
Experience on skill to improve your marksmanship.
I don't think I can get up that way. Okay, yep, nope, they are shooting me. Alright, I think I'm beyond where they can easily aim, at least until I get back up the slot. But now we got a little bit more even exchange here. Grab some of these orbs.
I'm just waiting for you to make a wee mistake.
Oh, okay. I think one of the interesting things about this game is as you get to the end of it, like I mentioned, you actually will be scarred. How much abuse you take during your entire path will be reflected in your character. You can take your shirt off and look over your body, and you will see scars all over the thing if you take too much of an ass whooping. The game also allowed for cross-compatibility isn't the right thing, but you could play with other people. You could join their world and play the story alongside them. They could do the same for you. And, oh, I have some food that the game wants me to eat because I'm slightly hurt. Anyways, when you join in with each other, it was kind of a point of bragging. If you had finished the game and had no scars, because it's actually, once you get past the hand-holding portion of the game, it actually gets kind of hard to do that. And obviously, the combat isn't much to write home about. This game is largely focused on its process of storytelling, hence the name Fable. It is about the story of your hero, and how you, as the player, mold and make that story unfold to the degree that you do. Fairly certain there's a few more of these guys up ahead. God, I love the dog just doing the full pointer thing. It's so adorable. Oh, and now we can give our dog the power of knowledge. So now our dog is stronger and will take a more active role in combat. One of the common things that you'll see from time to time at this point is if I knock an enemy over, there's a chance my dog will go in and actually finish them off.
Remember
Again,
your crossbow.
the
This could be over
dog
before they know it.
involvement in this game is just perfect in my opinion. I love this dog.
Keep your
My guy, if you're just going to stay back there and let me do this, I mean, go for it. I've got 3 guys around a campfire, and one of them is just getting destroyed. The other 2 are still sitting there like, ah, it's not our problem. Alright, is there another one of those over there? Nope, that was it. Alright, I think there's a chest back this way, if I remember right. No, dig spot. Alright. It's weird that, again, it's been so long since I've played this game, and I still remember some things. I don't remember a lot of stuff, but there are, like, moments that just come to me. I'm really waiting for, along this path we're taking... Oh, there is a chest here. Along the path that I'm taking here, there is a story moment that when we get to it, I'm going to be quiet for, because it is, in my opinion, one of the... Okay, now we got some treasure hunting knowledge for the dog. Oh, no, that was a trick. Yes, you can teach your dogs tricks, and that's also very enjoyable. But there's a story bit here that I'm going to want to be silent for, because it's pretty dark, and it actually kind of, again, as a younger person playing this game for the first time, it kind of got to me. Yeah, and we're coming up right here.
Oh, look! Another traveller! Want to get to Oakfield? You'll have to swim, lovey.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me twice. Alright, so as we make it around, we're going to find the start of that quest line that I mentioned. And this one is surprising. Again, everything we've had so far has been fairly lighthearted, with one exception. We had that big story moment where our sister was shot and killed. Obviously, that's the starting point of a lot of the character's trauma and the driving force for the story. This one, in my opinion, is purely just the game reminding you that, yo, we can get dark if we want.
My
And
son
even
Joey's
still,
in there.
they can deliver
He
it in a
needs help,
comical sense.
But, I'm a little scared to go in alone. Maybe we could go in together.
I actually remember my dad and stepmom had a dog they would hold out a treat for, then point their finger at it and say bang, and she'd play dead. We had a beagle at one point that did that.
Should we go in the cave?
Wasn't
Please?
that hard to train the beagle for it either, and kind of surprising. It certainly helps that beagles are a very smart breed. Coda was, he was able to play dead, you know, pulled the finger gun out, say bang. He knew sit, he knew stay, he knew shake.
You see, yeah.
Roll over.
Well,
although his rollover was
but,
more just flop to his
there might
side,
be
but
one
you
or
know,
two
it counts. 200 gold here.
Hobs carry off children and turn them into more hobs.
So hobgoblins
stories,
in
right?
the Fable lore, as we are finding out, is thought to be a creature of fairy tales, and in these fairy tales, the hobgoblins will kidnap children, and that's how hobgoblins are made. They don't reproduce or anything; they literally turn other children into hobgoblins. Hobgoblins came by, kidnapped his kid. I was talking during that part of the story, so that's why I wanted to make sure that was delivered. So right now the hope is that we are going to get in here and save his kid. There are really quiet sounds going off, but they are there. Guy just threw up over all the corpses here and bones.
Oh, sorry, I've never seen anything like this before.
I've mentioned that the story of Fable is meant to be more of the upfront focus, and I didn't make it very clear in how they even deliver that and portray it.
Don't stop shooting her!
Hold on.
Oh, that was good! Yes! More spells!
In the opening menu, the game even opens up as like a fairy tale book. Alright. My guy, you're gonna want to move.
Yes! Blow them all away!
You are badly damaged. Oh, food.
I am wounded, but I think by the time I level up, I should be able to heal my health. Is that the way that works? Let's go to strength, and I really want to focus on toughness. Get more health. Does that heal me?
Oh, they're disgusting.
Yeah, okay, it does. That's one way to heal yourself without having to use potions.
I mean,
I wanted to check on
have
that.
been children, could they?
My aunt has a black and white beagle named
John.
Oreo. Just wanted to bring that up because it's a very fitting name. Yes, it is.
I'm sorry.
Our beagle was named Coda, if you didn't catch that when I told the story. Coda, unfortunately, had some serious health issues, and we went through the song and dance with that as best we could, and it just... You know, life happens, is the way I'll have to end that. But we did track it down. We did figure out some of the medical issues he had. He was a rescue from the pound. So, you know, as I said, when you adopt these animals, they become a part of the family. We couldn't, in good conscience, just because we had this dog that we adopted, that we loved at the pound.
I'll be all right. If I just
we brought home and found out suddenly major medical issues. We couldn't, in good conscience, just say the dog has to go. So we fought the fight as best we could with him, and eventually you have to weigh quality of life versus the kind of life that he would continue to live, even if you pursued all of your options. It's not a happy moment. It just it is what it is, and was a sad thing.
That's Joey. I can hear him. I'm coming, son.
All right, so way off in the distance, we had an echoing of a child screaming. And now the dad has ran off, and I can't see anything because the camera's getting a little wonky. All right, yeah, that's a little sore. Really need to clear a few of these out. Get a little stronger shot going. So yeah, I have many different ways that you can actually make use of your magic. Hitting that is an AoE, which does less damage per creature hit. And it's not a guaranteed hit per everything inside the AoE. I think there's a limit based on how strong your magical powers are at the time. But then if you hold it, you can get a more powerful shot. Alright, there we go. Same thing with the sword. Eventually, you can activate different flourishing shots based on how you're fighting. You can actually manually aim with the crossbow eventually. I think the magic is the one that they give you the playability with beforehand. So, stronger AoE, aimed stronger shot, and then there is the quick fire AoE and the quick fire shot. The quick fire AoE, they basically have to be already slapping me in the face for it to hit them.
Don't be scared. Daddy's brought help. See if you can find another way in while I try and get this door open.
Oh, the dog's showing me the hidden path that I'm already down. We got a lot of health from that one health upgrade that I took.
That's it. That's my boy.
Alright, so again, it was very, very quiet. I don't think it might have been audible. We actually had Joey screaming something, and the dad calling out to him.
Told him those stories were made up.
And I think that was Joey we just killed. So the hobgoblins ran off. You actually heard a very disgusting
You should get
sound.
out of there. Head for the surface,
And suddenly
quickly.
Joey was a hobgoblin. So yeah, that is a very sad story. The dad's dead, everything. But yeah, when I first went through this game, you know, on my own, much younger, that kind of hit me. Very sad tale. Literally no good outcome. And there is no way to save the child. It doesn't matter how fast you go through this. And now, I've got a lot of issues here. Alright, this guy's gonna blow up. Knocks a few of them down. Bit more distance. So yeah, with my spell, when I kill an enemy, as you can see, they actually just start to evaporate. There's a lot of interesting little flavor bits that this game brought about when it first came out. Again, these are things that are not that uncommon anymore. You know, you hit somebody with a fire spell and they evaporate or whatever. They turn to ash. These are things that we all take for granted these days. But when this game came out, It wasn't the very common thing that did today. Alright, I know this guy's gonna come. I'm gonna want to hit him. Okay, yeah, I was gonna want to hit him from a distance, but it would not let me focus on anybody else but the other minions. So totally had that blow up in my face. But right now, the quest line is I'm making my way to find an abbot at a monastery, and that is where the game finally fully kicks off and it's done with the hand holding, because that is when you get introduced for the first time to one of the other heroic lineage characters, which is a priest, a lady priest, who is at the time gifted as the hero of strength. She is the strongest person physically in the world of the game. However, as an abbot or as a priest of her religion, she is sworn off of violence entirely. Oh, okay, I did get him. Take a couple of these shots off in the distance. Maybe I can not have to acknowledge that I'm here immediately. But really, I don't really think I'm going to be playing this game, like, all the way through. This is mostly just a filler for me to really want to show that this is something that I'm going to be playing in my off time and share a game that I grew up playing. The next big game I'm going to be playing should be delivered Monday of this upcoming week, and I'm going to fill you guys in on what that's going to be going forward. So the game will come in Monday, and it is a Mega Man game that was really big back when the Game Boy Advance was the go-to handheld console for people to play. It recently got remade. I believe it got updated a bit for the Switch. Came out like just a day or two ago, which is when mine got shipped out. Should be here Monday, and it is the Mega Man Battle Network games. It's a game that I've always wanted to play, but never did. And now that it came out on the Switch, I figured this is the perfect opportunity for me to get into this. Mega Man as a franchise is one that I have a unique run with. So many people have like their favorite Mega Man game, and there are many people who have Mega Man games that they don't like as much. Oddly enough, many of my favorite Mega Man games are the Mega Man games that a lot of people don't like. So I'm not the biggest fan of the fast-paced Mega Man games.
Can we go back now? No, it's our job to guard the bridge.
There we go.
But it's broken. No one
So
can
yeah,
cross
it's like, am I a big fan of like Mega Man 7? Not really. Am I a fan of Mega Man X? Yeah, that's more my speed. But it's not even my favorite Mega Man game. My personal favorite Mega Man game is, I think it was called Mega Man Legends. And funny thing about that game, in lore, the Mega Man you play does go by Mega Man by name, but is not the Mega Man that the Mega Man franchise would recognize as that character that he's using the namesake of. That's probably my favorite Mega Man set of games. There's Legends 1 and 2. But because of that, and because I like the Mega Man that is like outside of the realm of standard Mega Man, I'm curious how I'll feel about Battle Network. As I understand it, that's basically Mega Man as an RPG. Dakota friend I had at one point, talking about her dog. I have a son. Yeah, I guess that was something you must have sent earlier that I missed. The Mega Man Battle Network games are old favorites of mine. My brother already has the Switch version of them. The Switch version of them all. I'm getting it hopefully this weekend. Yeah, like I said, mine should be delivered Monday. I had it pre-ordered, but my order got delayed, and so now I had to wait for the second round of them to go out, I guess. I got an email about it at one point, and I was like, well, okay, so unfortunately that means I won't be playing it for the stream, but that does mean that I can share a game that I grew up loving and have it just kind of be a filler game, possibly randomly throughout. But Mega Man Battle Network is the next big game I'm going to play, that I'm going to play the whole way through. This was kind of more just, I really wanted to share it, and I'm probably going to play it on my own in between when I can. If you've seen Mega Man NT Warrior, which was an anime for kids dubbed at one point, that's in the world of Battle Network. I am familiar with a couple of Mega Man shows existing. I'm not familiar with the stories, as I've never seen any of them. It's the same thing with like the Legend of Zelda cartoon that they did at one point. I know it exists. I've seen clips. I've never watched the whole thing, despite of the fact that I am a big Mega Man fan, or not Mega Man, Legend of Zelda fan. Out of all of the classic Mega Man games, I've mentioned, like, I'm a fan of the Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3. I am largely unfamiliar with many of them because there's so many. I've played Mega Man 1 and 2. I think I played Mega Man 3. And of those ones, I think it was 3 that I enjoyed. I actually didn't enjoy Mega Man 1. I remember that. I think it was... I think for me, on the NES, it was unfortunately just too simplistic and built around pattern recognition entirely. And I think it was Mega Man 3 the first one that you could slide? I seem to recall that the early Mega Mans you couldn't slide, and then they had one where you could. And for whatever reason, that was the one that you gave me the option to slide, and suddenly I enjoyed the game. But I seem to recall that was the one that I enjoyed. Into the side of the cliff. Got it. So, as I mentioned, I'm not going to be playing this game to its entirety, and I am getting ready to wrap up here. This was kind of a one-off thing. If I play more, I will, but I am going to spoil one big part of the game. The biggest part of the game for me, because I have chalked this guy up as being the best dog in gaming, and I want to deliver to you why. This game is about heroes. People who can do things nobody else can. I'm throwing spells. Other ones are like beyond inhuman marksmen. Another one is, as I said, the strongest human, like, out of anyone, not even close. Another one's even better than me at magic. That's the whole thing. These are heroes. They lose. They get outsmarted by Lucian, and they lose. And in the final moment where your character was to have their fate unveil, as it was meant to at the very beginning of the game when your sister died, again, your character is given an out from the love of the people around them. Your dog takes a bullet that was meant for you. And again, you get a second chance to get it, Lucian. And it is with that moment that my heart broke. I got mad at this game. I didn't beat it initially. And then I played through to the end and they gave me another morality choice. Again, I play the hero. I have trouble not being the good guy. They gave me 3 choices at the end of the game. Do you save no one and make great riches for yourself? Do you save all of the people whose lives were ruined by the evils of the final villain? I'm sad now. Damn, that's why I'm not playing up to it. It is emotionally heart-wrenching even now thinking of it. It's literally played out in this game, slow motion. You've gone through the entire adventure. You go away for like 10 years and come back, and your dog is now old and aging, and you win. I don't think it was 10 years. I think it was like 5 to 7, something like that. But anyways, you go away for several years and you come back, and the first thing you see is your dog running the entire beach line up the dock to meet you the second your foot hits the dock. You are made to love this dog. And then they hit you with that. The dog knowingly, willingly jumps in and takes a bullet for you. And at the end of the game, you could be like, and I made this choice. This is the quote-unquote evil choice I made in the game, and it was the final choice in the game. You can bring back your dog and your sister, or you can bring back everybody else, the thousands of people that had their life uprooted and ruined by the creation of the spire that happens in this game. Or you can be like, I'll save no one and just take big heaps of cash. I literally was just like, as a kid, I'm playing this game and I wanna help the people. I don't even give a shit about my sister at this point. The sister has been dead for so many years. The sister played her part in the world. And as the story unfolds, I was at peace with that loss. I could not take that loss, and I was like, no, I don't care what happened to them. Give me back my dog. That was the one evil choice I made in the entire playthrough, my first time playing this game. And I don't even think it was evil, but I remember all of the other heroes that are there around you when you're the one given that choice. They resent you for it. They talk down to you because you made that choice. And then as I played through the game again and I eventually made the other endings, I remember. They will never be happy with you no matter which ending you pick. Even if you save everybody else, they still question your decision. So to this day, anytime I play this game to the end, screw everyone else, I'm getting my dog back. None of you are going to be grateful for what I do anyways. I want my best boy. I do have the DLC at this point, Richard. However, when the game first came out, that was not an option. And it was solidly placed. And if you had missions you still wanted to do that required you to dig up things, you actually locked yourself out of being able to do those because you don't have the dog to find them anymore. If you're familiar with Team Nekoken, they've actually made songs. Ooh, I am not familiar, and I'll have to look that up later. I love a lot of video game related. Look, I'm a big game guy. I love when I see other things that correlate to the things that I enjoy. So I'm definitely going to look that up later. If you get the DLC or the Game of the Year edition, you can get the dog again with one of the places you... Yes, and in order for you to get your dog back, you have to kill someone. You have to lure a villager into a section, pull a lever, that villager dies, and you get your dog back. Here's the cool thing. Again, a cool thing from my perspective as a dog lover who was willing to say to the thousands of people, screw you, I'm getting my dog back. The game does not have that count against you on the morality meter. Even the game knows that your dog is better than any one of these fuckers running around in the game right now. And I respect that. Kiwi Kenobi made an English version of 2 of those songs. I'm really going to have to look into that, Richard. Thank you very much for letting me know. Anyways, I know I've just spoiled one of the biggest parts of the game, but like I said, I don't think in recording I'm going to get there. This was largely filler while I wait for the next main game that I want to play. So, thank you very much for sitting through this with me, Richard, Dem. I kind of hope that at the very least, for the time you were here, you got to see something about a game that I grew up playing that is mildly enjoyable. If nothing else, you have Bestest Boy on the screen still. But thank you so much for stopping here through it. Next time, it will be Mega Man Battle Network, and that is one that I will be playing through. I'm fairly certain to completion. I think it's 2 games in 1. I'm not sure. But we'll see how that unveils and unfolds when we get to that next time. Thank you so much. Hope to see you next time when we will be playing, again, another game on the Switch. Seems like I've been doing a lot of that. Anyways. Yeah. As per usual, hope you guys have a great week. Bye.